With Pokémon Legends Z-A getting closer and closer to getting a release date, we start dreaming about all the new things we'll be experiencing in this game. From a brand new battle system that promises to keep us engaged as we learn its ins and outs, and a whole cast of new and returning characters that are sure to teach us more about the Pokémon world, we cannot wait for what's coming. And also we cannot forget the return of Mega Evolution, and also the likely addition of new ones, plus the return of every single one we had before. Well, every single one except for one. So hey, I'm not so a-strainer, and why is that one not returning? Why shouldn't it return? Let's get into it. Mega Evolution is a strange gimmick, especially when compared to all that came after it. It was the first one and seemed to be here to stay, being introduced in Gen 6, in Pokémon X and Y, and then returning in Auras, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, and finally making its final appearance before Z-A in Pokémon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Up until that specific point, at the end of Gen 7, we thought that, yeah, they'll do more gimmicks, like they did with Z moves, but Mega Evolution will always be a part, at least, of the background. But then, Dynamax was introduced and Mega Evolution was gone, and it also did not return for Gen 9, giving the spotlight to Terastal. That didn't really matter, and I kinda don't mind the fact that something new is introduced and so that is the focus. But it didn't change that Mega Evolution really had a lot of game under its wings, with the second one even introducing new Mega Evolutions. You on the other hand should introduce a like to this video and then subscribe and join the channel, of course. So this addition of new Mega Evolutions to the original ones hasn't happened since then as well, with G-Max forms and special Terra states being tied to their origin games and not really showing up anytime since. And that makes Mega Evolution that much special. Before I continue though, what's your favorite Mega Evolution? Let me know down below. With this gimmick coming back in Pokémon Legends Z-A, we all expect the whole cast of 48 Mega Evolutions to return, especially since we've witnessed both Mega Evolutions introduced in X and Y and Mega Evolutions introduced in Auras being showcased in the trailers we've had so far. Still, one of them not only will not be there, it should not be there. It isn't hard to realize what Mega Evolution I'm talking about, of course, be it from the thumbnail or from logic alone. Mega Rayquaza is a very special kind of Mega Evolution that does not really follow the regular laws that seem to apply to all the rest. Not only that, it is in no way connected to what this game seems to be about: Zygarde, Lumiose City, and Kalos. While new lore can be introduced, then old lore can be changed, like Pokémon Legends Arceus did with Origin Form Dialga and Origin Form Palkia, as well as with the Hisuian part of Sinnoh's history. It would be a shame to see Trio Master, Rayquaza, see its lore, its possible potential lore with the Draconids and all that, being sacrificed for the sake of another Trio Master, Zygarde, a Pokémon that really needs the spotlight all for itself. Zygarde would not really fit in with the Hoenn boys, especially because of a common misconception with the Weather Trio and the forms they gained in Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. While Mega Rayquaza has a Mega Evolution, albeit not a traditional one, Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre are in no way, shape or form connected to it or the gimmick. While yes, everything ends up being connected through the life force of Pokémon and all that stuff, Primal Reversion is not a form of Mega Evolution. It is a completely independent thing that stands on its own. But one thing it isn't independent from is the need for Rayquaza to do its job and send them back to sleep when they start fighting. Something that has been the focus of 2 games already, clearly being the vision for the Hoenn region so far. Now, one could say that they don't need to do that story again, but if you look at the unexplored topics of the Hoenn region or the unexplored lore, which seems like what they're doing with Zygarde and Arceus, you'd find the Draconid people because that's kind of all they gave us. And if you think about the Draconid people, it all ends up tying back to Rayquaza. So any Legends Hoenn game would eventually have us deal with both Groudon and Kyogre and of course the Green Snake Dragon. And so an appearance in Pokémon Legends Z-A would feel a bit unnecessary. Still, there are some arguments against what I'm saying. First, no matter what I say, it is a Mega Evolution in a game that seems to be bringing back the other 47 Mega Evolutions and that likely will introduce new ones. Second, the company responsible for all of the changes we see in Lumio City, the urban redevelopment, it is called Quasartico, and it is kind of impossible not to notice the Quasar in Quasartico and in Rayquaza. It could easily just be a coincidence or a space reference, just like solar flares and all that, but there's always the possibility that they are from Hoenn and are somehow related to Rayquaza. Still, in Quasartico, Vinny seems to sport similar colors to the ones found in Mega Rayquaza, in his gloves, shirt and shoes, and his beard is also kinda similar to Mega Rayquaza's sharp jaws. I do suspect there is something about Vinny that we're not being told, but this is not what I think is the case. Still, it is an argument against Rayquaza not being in. Still, then comes the part of not only will it not be a part of it, it should not be a part of it. Pokemon games in the modern era are clearly trying to bring the world together, make it a cohesive unit, and I'm all here for it, give me more of it. But it should never come at the cost of a Pokemon spotlight, especially a special Pokemon. For example, I always wanted to learn more about Arceus, but if that came at the cost of Zygarde, I'd be a bit mad about it. Now, because that didn't happen, Zygarde has its own game, with its own lore, and it will be shown to us, instead of having it added to Gen 7 for it to be half relevant. This is true for every Pokemon, but mostly for the Pokemon that have so much potential, like the mythical and legendary ones. The Legends series can completely change Pokemon forever, as I think it is doing already, and with how expansive yet mysterious Pokemon's lore always was, every legendary up until this point, especially the main ones, have the chance to have a game made entirely about them. It's one of the reasons why I'm still on the fence about Mewtwo and its Mega Evolutions, Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y, being a part of this game. For now, I'm leaning on them being a part of it, but that's just because I feel like a Kanto Legends game will either focus on Mew, having Mewtwo there but without the Mega Evolutions, or will focus on a completely new side of Kanto's lore that we haven't yet met, as the region's past is very much still a mystery. Whatever's the case, I continue to believe that Mega Rayquaza has no place in this game, as it wouldn't work unless there was the rest of the Weather Trio as well, which I don't see happening, or there was a threat from space, but I don't see that happening as well. And all of that is a very good thing, because it also shouldn't be there, as Hoenn has so much yet to show us, and it's likely all connected to Ray Ray. And so, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. But before I go, I want to thank my YouTube members Dashplays and Yahtzee, and my Twitch subscriber Anubis here for going that extra mile. Thank you so much for all of your support.